Look, there's so many things happening at the same time. Obviously, the election was a big catalyst here, and the markets have spoken, and you can see that that's been very positive for the market. We were watching on the way over here, right? Bitcoin ticking. We said, is it going to be 100,000 right now? And we remember the celebrations we had when it was at 1,000 and at 10,000. And now here we are, about to be at 100,000.
As Bitcoin surges past $99,000, market experts and institutional leaders are making increasingly bold predictions about its future trajectory. The convergence of multiple catalysts, from regulatory shifts to technological advances, has created what many see as a perfect storm for cryptocurrency's flagship asset. Against this backdrop of unprecedented growth, a crucial question emerges. Where might Bitcoin go from here?
Joe, we think it's just getting started. As we expected, Bitcoin saw this high volatility pump after the election. We're now in blue sky territory, no technical resistance, and we think we're likely to make repeated all-time highs over the next 2 quarters. The same pattern played out 4 years ago. Between the election and the end of the year in 2020, Bitcoin doubled. There were about 10% corrections, so it's not going to be a straight line, but we're up 30% so far, and a number of indicators that we track are still flashing green for this rally to continue.
This optimistic outlook isn't just based on technical analysis, but also on fundamental shifts in the regulatory landscape. The changing political environment has created new opportunities and possibilities for cryptocurrency adoption at the highest levels.
This is a state change in terms of government support. Look at this cabinet, the VP, Attorney General, Director of Defense, National Security Advisor, possibly even the Secretary of Treasury being pro-Bitcoin. That's not including Elon and Vivek.
From a technical perspective, analysts are pointing to strong chart patterns and price formations that suggest significant upside potential. The consolidation phase appears to be giving way to a new period of price discovery.
Good morning, Contessa. In terms of the charts on Bitcoin, the chart has been one that had been consolidating for almost 6 months, Contessa, and it has now started to break out to the upside. So from a technical perspective, that is a bullish sign. And when we look at Bitcoin itself and you sort of do a measured objective technically, we can see a move as high as about $133,000.
The infrastructure supporting Bitcoin's growth continues to mature, with institutional players taking increasingly significant positions. This evolution marks a stark contrast from previous bull runs.
Let's talk about sentiment around it, because expectations do matter. And when you actually look at what you're seeing with this, they beat most metrics across the board.
Major financial institutions are now viewing Bitcoin not just as a speculative asset, but as a legitimate store of value competing with traditional safe havens like gold. This shift in perception has led to increasingly ambitious price targets.
Kelly, happy Friday. I think Bitcoin's going to hit all-time highs. It hit them today, and I think it's going further, right? My basic premise is that ultimately Bitcoin's value will be half of that of all the gold outstanding. So you're talking about something like $300,000 for Bitcoin.
Why only half the value? Why not a quarter of the value, or pick some other random number?
Well, because maybe I'm more balanced. I think if I were a Bitcoin maximalist, I would say it would overtake gold. But I think that's like a reasonable base assumption. It's clear. One of the big winners this year is individual investors have really piled into the Bitcoin ETFs.
This institutional perspective is complemented by a deeper understanding of Bitcoin's fundamental value proposition and its role in the broader financial ecosystem. Major firms are increasingly viewing it as more than just a trading vehicle.
Well, what I've said, Bitcoin is sort of digital gold to me, and it's a store of value asset. What I've said about Ethereum is, don't buy it unless you really understand its business proposition and its competitors, the other databases that might be the rails for crypto.
Market veterans are identifying multiple catalysts that could support Bitcoin's continued rise, including both technical and fundamental factors. The combination of macro events and supply-side dynamics creates a compelling case for further appreciation.
I think Bitcoin is a hedge against unsound money, and that's why when Joe talked about it as a currency, that's how many people do view it, because Bitcoin has its own unit value and it's measured against dollars, and I think it's the same way people measure gold against dollars.
For longer-term investors, understanding market dynamics and having a clear strategy has become increasingly important. The evolution of the market has created new opportunities for those who can maintain their position through volatility.
So my price prediction, I'm going to stick with that one. 2025, 2026, 250,000. Nobody really knows, but I'm going to give you the logic so that you can make your own prediction with a little more knowledge than the average person.
The maturation of market infrastructure and improved security measures have addressed many of the concerns that plagued earlier cycles. This evolution has created a more robust ecosystem for both retail and institutional investors.
It's interesting because the industry has learned a lot from the events of 2022 and 2023. It is definitely already more secure. It's more challenging for bad actors to act in the same way. I think we're quickly learning the lessons of those events.
This maturation extends to the accessibility and education aspects of the cryptocurrency ecosystem, making it increasingly accessible to a broader range of investors.
But a lot of it has to do with education and meeting those retail users where they're at. They can go on Coinbase, Kraken, that's very safe. Or they can try to do self-custody solution like MetaMask or Phantom. That's more complicated. But again, it's incumbent on the industry to do a better job of educating people and making it safer.
As Bitcoin continues its historic ascent, predictions range from $133,000 to $300,000, with multiple experts citing improved market infrastructure, institutional adoption, and regulatory clarity as key drivers. The convergence of technical strength, institutional interest, and macro tailwinds has created what many see as an unprecedented opportunity in the digital asset space. The transformation of Bitcoin from a speculative asset to a mainstream financial instrument appears to be accelerating, potentially setting the stage for the most significant price appreciation in its history.
Crypto is at the intersection of technology and finance, and a lot of the founders are really technology specialists. So we wanted to come in and assist them with the financial side of their protocols and token launches. We have seen a lot of innovation on the infrastructure side. And now, indeed, we're entering the consumer side where we're going to see more broader retail adoption. We think there's going to be a lot of use cases for crypto.
What do you think about these bold price predictions? Do you see Bitcoin reaching these astronomical heights? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.